We can divide polynomials the same way that we divide numbers. We have this polynomial here, f of x equals 6x cubed minus 19x squared plus 16x minus 4. And we'd like to divide it by x minus 2. So I'm going to set this up the way I would set up a division with two big numbers, and that's using our long division setup. Okay. Underneath here, we put our polynomial that we are dividing. So we've got our 6x cubed minus 19x squared plus 16x minus 4. This is called our dividend. And out here, we put the divisor, the thing that we're dividing by, which in this case is x minus 2. Now, when setting these up, it's important that we write both of these polynomials in what we call standard form, which is with the highest power of x first and working our way down, okay, for both of these. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we're going to take this 6x cubed, and we're going to, so the first term here, and we divide by the first term out here. So 6x cubed divided by x. Let me write this out here. 6x cubed, we divide that by x. Okay, well this just, we simplify by canceling an x out. This is just 6x squared. Okay, we're going to put that right up here, 6x squared. Then we take this 6x squared and we multiply it by the x minus 2. And we put it underneath here. So 6x squared times x is 6x cubed. And 6x squared times negative 2 is negative 12x squared. So after multiplying this term by the divisor, we're then going to subtract that result from this polynomial up here. So 6x cubed minus 6x cubed is 0. Those just cancel out. They're gone. I don't need to write anything underneath there. Here I've got negative 19x squared and then minus a negative, so that's plus 12x squared. Negative 19x squared plus 12x squared is negative 7x squared. Okay. I've got 16x and there's nothing below it to subtract, so I just bring that down. 16x minus nothing is still 16x. Same thing with the negative 4. I have negative 4 minus nothing is still negative 4. Okay, so now I've got this result here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing, the same process that I just did, but now I'm working off of this. So we take the negative 7x squared, the first term here, and we're going to divide it by the first term here, which is just x. So divide that by x, and x cancels, and we get negative 7x. That is what we put up here, negative 7x. Now we take that negative 7x and we multiply by the x minus 2. So negative 7x times x is negative 7x squared. Negative 7x times negative 2 is positive 14x. After multiplying by that divisor, we then subtract. Negative 7x squared minus a negative 7x squared is 0. That should always happen when you're doing this process. The first term here should cancel when you subtract. 16x minus 14x is 2x. And negative 4 minus nothing is negative 4. Okay, then we do it again. We take our first term here, 2x, and we divide it by the first term out here, which is x. Well, 2x over x, the x just cancels, and we end up with 2. So we get a positive 2 up here, and we write it in as plus 2. We're creating a polynomial here, so remember, between your terms, you're always going to have a plus or a minus. And now we take this positive 2 and we multiply by the x minus 2. So 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And then we subtract this. Well, 2x minus 2x is 0, and negative 4 minus negative 4 is also 0. So these completely cancel, and we're left with a 0 here. Okay, once you end up with a 0 down here, that means you've finished your division, okay, and it divided evenly. What we just found out is that this 6x cubed, I'm going to write this whole thing out, 6x cubed minus 19x squared plus 16x minus 4 divided by x minus 2, that's what we just did. We found that that is equal to 6x squared minus 7x plus 2. Okay, so we did the division. Now we want to use this result to write f in factored form. So this polynomial right here, the numerator, we'd like to write in factored form. And what we're going to do now is just take both sides of this equation. Let me move this down a little bit. Oh, I don't want to move that 0 down. We're going to take this equation and we're going to multiply both sides by x minus 2. Okay, so if I take x minus 2 times that, and then take this and multiply by x minus 2, on the left side of the equation, the x minus 2 cancels out. And we're just left with 6x cubed minus 19x squared plus 16x minus 4 equals, and then this right here is a partially factored form for that polynomial. Okay, so notice that what I've just done is after dividing by x minus 2, I actually found that I can write this polynomial as x minus 2 times this polynomial here. Now to completely factor this, I just need to go one step further and say, well, can I factor this anymore? Well, I've got a quadratic here with a leading coefficient not equal to 1. So I take 6 and I multiply it by 2, and that gives me 12. And I want two numbers that multiply to be 12 and then add to be negative 7. And that would be negative 3 and negative 4. So we're going to take that negative 7x and write it as minus 3x and minus 4x. And now we can factor by grouping. So I can pull a 3x out of the first group, and I'm left with 2x minus 1. And I can factor a negative 2 out of the second group, and that leaves me with a 2x minus 1. So now this factors, the 2x minus 1 comes out, and I'm left with a 3x minus 2. Okay, now this thing right here, that's the factored form of this polynomial. Okay, but I still have the x minus 2. Okay, so I have that times x minus 2. And this is my factored form of that polynomial.